What's going on, guys? Back at it again with another video. Hit subscribe button, like, comment, and share, and all that good stuff. And if you're thinking about becoming an officer, United States Army, then you're in the right place. I'm going to be breaking down the selection process for Officer Candidate School, or OCS, for both the active duty and reserve candidates. And also, I will cover a step-by-step on potential challenges that you may face, and I'll also discuss some waivers that you may be eligible for. So let's get started. Step 1, you must meet the eligibility requirements. This applies to both active and also reserve candidates, which include being a U.S. citizen, age 18 to 34. You must hold a bachelor's degree from an accredited institution. The degree does not matter, so you can do basket weaving, rocket science, it does not matter. You must meet the Army height and weight requirement standards and also pass the ACFT, which is the Army Combat Fitness Test. Talk about the potential challenge that you may face during the selection process. The first thing is when you first walk into the door, they're going to ask for your scores. So you need a minimum of a 110 GT score, so they're going to ask you to complete a ASVAB or a PICAT. So depending on where you are, they might give you a preliminary test that makes sure you have recruiters that have a good idea of what it takes to process an officer. Because typically what they'll do is they'll try to steer you into the enlistment route. Don't let them steer you to enlistment. I don't care what they say. Only reason why they steer you to enlistment is because they don't know how to do the officer. In enlistment, they get their cha-ching and they meet their quota. And they can process you real quick, real fast without having to go through all this process. So if they got to do more work, let them do more work. Don't let them easy deter you to go into the enlistment route. After you meet those eligibility requirements, you'll get with a recruiter, so you'll find one in your area, or you can do it online, however it works. They're going to ask you to provide several documents. So the first one should be the OCS application. So they should be able to give that to you. If not, it'll be on the Army official website. Next thing will be your official transcripts. You'll just request that from your where you got your undergraduate degree at. You must have minimum of a 2.5, but it is waiver exceptions to that. I'll explain that a little bit later. Also, if you have a good recruiter, they should give you an idea of where you'll stack up at in comparison to the last class that went to the board. So it'll be like, okay, this candidate had a 3.4, this one had this, and that. So you can get a good cross comparison of what they're looking for in your area. Next thing after that, it'll be a letter of recommendation. So you'll have 3 letters of recommendation that you have to provide. 3 individuals that can vouch on your leadership and also your character. Highly suggest getting people that are in the military of higher authority. If you do, like family, friends, or anything that can write something on your behalf, that'd be great. Or just a manager or someone of, like I said, higher caliber that can kind of speak on your character. It's kind of the same thing, but military gives you a little more cachet with your when you submit it. Also, with your resume, make sure you kind of create a resume that kind of highlights your work experience and also military service if you do have any. Try to dedicate it more towards the managerial aspect, where it kind of lists the qualitative and quantitative data on what you did. It kind of helps you out as far as once you start getting to the board and when they start asking questions, it makes things a lot more. Your application is submitted, you'll go through a medical examination at MEPS, or if you don't know what it is, it's the Military Entrance Processing Station. So this will pretty much sound exactly what it seems like. You'll get a medical evaluation, so they'll examine your physical, your mental, and your medical history, and also test your vision and hearing, because not just you're going to OCS, but you're also going to basic training beforehand too. The next challenge is making sure that you don't have incomplete applications, so this makes you double check any errors, make sure you don't get any kickbacks, or so you don't want to have any delays or any type of disqualifications. So this kind of create a checklist on things that you need. So if you need to get your essay done, you need to get some recommendations. Make sure you have a understanding of how to get in contact. Make sure they send things back in a timely manner, because like I said earlier, everything is on a specific time frame. So if you miss that board meeting and you don't get everything completed, then they'll have to push you to another board meeting, and that also delays your process getting the process in, getting accepted, or fix any delays. And you'll end up having to wait a whole nother year just to start base training, then go to OCS, and you'll miss a lot of opportunity and a lot of money as well too. So once you completed your application, you'll go before a selection board. So the board will consist of senior officers who will evaluate your application based on your military and leadership potential, your academic performance, your resume, and also, if need be so, your physical fitness. I don't know how they test your physical fitness, but that may be a case as well. So with active duty, it's one more step than reserve. So in general though, you'll have specific dates that the board meeting will do each year. So it's very important to get everything done on a specific timeline. So say if the board meeting is in May, You don't start the process till April. You have to go through MEPS. You have to get everything processed in MEPS, make sure everything goes smooth. Then you have to submit all your documents, then get ready for your board meeting. Can you do it? Possibly, but more than likely the recruiter might send you off to the next board meeting, which could be in November. So make sure you get the timelines down. Same with reserves. So you schedule your board meeting. So it can go two different ways. It can be in person or it can be Zoom. I did mine in person. I don't know how they dictate that, but that's what it is. So just be prepared for, discuss your leadership experience, your motivation, why you want to become an officer. If you don't know how to answer the questions, the best way to do it is go by the STAR method. If you don't know what the STAR method is situation, task, action, and results. So whenever you have something that they ask you, just try to frame it in those ways. So the situation was, we need more people to join the Army. You're tasked with getting more people to join the Army. Your actions to getting more people to join the Army, and what was your results getting more people in the Army. And you can discuss that in that framework, and you should be good for the most part. After you finish that with active duty, you'll step out. They'll recommend what they should do. They'll send your application to, I think, to another board, and then they'll evaluate your process and give you the green light or not. If they need to meet with you, they will meet with you. Far as the reserve standpoint, once you finish that board meeting, they'll sit you out probably less than like 10 minutes, unless you have very questionable behavior. And then they'll have the recruiter step in. They'll talk to them. You'll come in, and then you'll say, hey, they'll give you a thumbs down or a thumbs up, and that'll be the process. But in general, just look at your resume, know how to answer your questions, know some Army value stuff, like, just the basic Army value information, some things about the officer route, like roles and responsibilities, those things. I have another video as far as on the reserve side. You can go check that out on common questions that they ask you, but it's going to vary depending on how you kind of come off. So just be wary on that. So now let's discuss waivers. So not everyone will meet the requirements. If you don't, it's still okay. Waivers can still be a lifesaver. So if you have any medical condition, like I discussed earlier, you can qualify for medical waivers. So for example, if you had like asthma, a past injury, you can get one. So for example, if you had like childhood asthma, but you've been symptom free for years as an adult, you can get a waiver for it. Age waiver, like I said, you gotta be 18 to 34. If you are 35, you may get an age waiver requirement if you do have strong relevant experience, so you still can be considered. So it's not a thing to deter you from it. Challenge for most people is getting in physical condition. I personally didn't have any issues as far as getting into the officer candidate selection board with ACFT. I think I got hit with a waiver, which I'll speak on that a little bit later. So this makes you stay in shape. This makes you run. Make sure you're not heavily overweight. Make sure you make the height and weight requirement. So if you could do that, just work out a little bit, you should be fine. Just focus on your weaknesses and kind of maximize your strength. Because remember, you do have base training to kind of get you in running shape, and also OCS, that will definitely get you in running shape as well. Education waiver, if your GPA is below the minimum, you can be granted a waiver for that if you do have significant leadership or excelled in other areas. And typically what they'll try to do is, if you do have a low GPA, they're going to try to steer you into enlistment route. Still try to stand strong on that. If you have a good recruiter, they should show you where you kind of will stack up at in comparison to other people. But like I said, be cognizant that there is a waiver available for education as well. Also as well too, for criminal history waivers for minor offenses, misdemeanors, or waivers are granted for those. So if you show criminal waivers are available as well. Criminal history waivers are available too. So if you have any minor offenses such as misdemeanors, those waivers can be granted, especially if you show evidence of rehabilitation for your actions in the past. You should be good on that. So just as a recruiter, if they have waiver options and how to get that process. And there you have it. This selection process for Army OCS. Remember, whether you're pursuing active duty or reserve status, preparation is key. So if you found this video helpful, hit the like button, subscribe for more content similar to this. So if you got any questions, put in the comments below. So thanks for watching. I'm out. Gone.